This is part 2 of chapter 1 of anatomy. If you haven't watched part 1, go back and do that now. This is just going to pick up on where I left off. Alright, so the last chapter I went over in the previous video was the skeletal system, which is going to work together with the muscular system in producing movement. And, this slideshow uses the term locomotion, and that's all that means, is producing movement. Maintaining posture, and then another function that maybe we don't think about with the muscular system is to produce heat. We know that our body needs to be at a stable temperature, and the muscles are actually very important in doing that. If you shiver when you get cold, it's exactly what's happening. It's your muscles that are contracting to produce heat. So that's another very important function of the muscular system that maybe we don't think about every day, but it is responsible for, and that you do need to know. The next system here is the nervous system, which is considered the fast-acting control system, because there is a slow-acting control system that would be your endocrine system, your hormones. The nervous system is going to respond to what they call stimuli, which is an internal or external change. And what that means is you have various sensors throughout your body that are just monitoring the environment within and without at all times. And they're searching for changes, because nearly everything in your body has a certain range of safety you have to stay within. Your temperature is one of those. The pH of your blood is another. And so anytime that changes, you're going to get a signal sent to the brain, a decision made as to what to do, and then that signal will be sent back out to whatever it needs to in order to make that change to keep your body in that healthy range. Another thing that your nervous system is responsible for that you probably do think of a little more often is activating or controlling muscles and glands. So the brain is what controls and tells your fingers what to do when you're writing and taking notes. So that's simply what that last point there means. The next one is our slow-acting control system, the endocrine system. This is pretty much your system that creates, and regulates, and uses the hormones. It will include parts of your brain. Whenever, again, you have some sort of stimulus, some sort of change in the environment of your body, that signal is sent to your brain. And then it may trigger the endocrine system to work. Again, this is slow-acting, and you will see this system acting more in growth, and reproduction, and metabolism, which is digestion. So this is, again, controlling your body and the environment within your body, but using a different method than electrical signal by the nervous system. The cardiovascular system. This is the system that probably you're already pretty well familiar with. It includes the heart and all of the vessels that transport blood throughout the body. We know that blood is important to each and every one of our cells in our body because we need oxygen. Carbon dioxide needs to be taken out of the cells as a result of aerobic respiration. And other things that the heart and the blood are important for delivering are nutrients, various other nutrients, including glucose from your food that you take in, and also in removing waste from those cells as they use up all the different sorts of fuels and different things, and performing their jobs from day to day that you need for your survival. So the blood does much more than just deliver oxygen. It's got a big job. Our next system is the lymphatic system. This is part of your body's defense system. It is a system of channels throughout the body where this lymph fluid is going to be transported. It works together with the blood and kind of filters, in a way, the blood by filtering this lymph fluid. It will retain fluid within your body if you start to become dehydrated. It's part of what helps the body retain fluid or decide how much to retain. It'll dispose of debris, and again, like I said, work in the immune system. You've heard of lymph nodes, and they are part of the lymphatic system, and they will house your lymphatic cells to help defend the body. You have an extra concentration of those in the lymph nodes, more than you would on average. And they are there as that blood is getting filtered, as your fluid is getting filtered, to catch anything that may not have been defended against already. Yeah, the respiratory system, which is, as you already know, mostly responsible for the exchange of gases, including oxygen and carbon dioxide. The digestive system is something you're pretty well familiar with already. We know its job is for breaking down food and absorbing nutrients that the body needs. But maybe we don't realize the digestive system is really like one long big tube, and its entire job is not done just when it's finished breaking down food. So the digestive system functions all the way through until the job is done, including eliminating the waste that your body can't use. The urinary system is actually very important. We know it produces urine, which is waste product from the body that we don't need, but one of the big jobs it performs is maintaining your pH, your acid-base balance within your blood. We have some of those receptors I was talking about earlier there in the urinary system, in the kidneys, that kind of helps make decisions as it's filtering through some of the fluid in the body. Also, it can help regulate the amount of water your body keeps, just like the lymphatic system I was discussing just a minute ago. The urinary system performs a very similar job, and so it can keep your water within balance, and also monitors the electrolytes within your body. So the urinary system is pretty important, even though we are mostly just familiar with it getting rid of nitrogenous waste in the body. And then finally we have the reproductive system. This system's sole purpose is for producing offspring. The next part of this chapter is in discussing necessary life functions. This is kind of the combination of the different functions of those different body systems that we were looking at. And this is kind of true for all living organisms. So one of those necessary life functions is to maintain boundaries. Your skin is probably the thing that helps to do this the most. It is to keep the internal environment safe, protected from the outside environment, and that includes many mechanisms, not just your skin protection, including even getting a tan in the summer. That is a result of being exposed to ultraviolet light and building up a defense against too much of it. Whenever you get sick, you get all snotty. That mucus, that's part of your body's defense and maintaining a safe boundary between the outside environment and the inside, because our nasal passage is open to the outside environment, and it's one of the first lines of defense in the body. Another necessary life function is movement. This is, and they use the funny term locomotion. That just means movement, moving the whole body. That's not just important for obtaining the things we need in life and being able to move, get away from danger, that kind of thing for a necessary life function, but also movement of substances throughout the body. You must be able to carry out the functions that each part of your body needs to be able to do for survival. So that's movement within and outside of and the whole body. Responsiveness, which is being able to sense a change, again, in the environment around your body, maybe even within it, and to be able to react to those changes. I've already discussed how the body is sensitive to many changes in its environment, and you have to be able to stay within a healthy range. Digestion is another necessary life function, and being able to take in those nutrients and break them down. That's 4 of the necessary life functions. We got a few more here. Metabolism. This is not just metabolism like breaking down your food and taking in nutrients. This is the actual chemistry within your body. This is producing energy. This is breaking down ATP and releasing the energy that your cells need. This is making body structures. This is making proteins from amino acids from the RNA signals. This is all of that going on. That's metabolism. Excretion, removing waste from the body. Otherwise, we would build up a very dangerous environment within the body. Reproduction is a necessary life function, or is considered one. It is for a whole species, not necessary for an individual, but it is considered one of the necessary life functions. And then growth. That is increasing of actual cell size as well as increasing number of cells, especially at the beginning of life, when you've studied reproduction a little bit and you know that the embryo grows and it's exponentially growing by its number of cells. Consider growth. Survival needs is the next topic. For survival, your body needs nutrients. Of course, we know this. Chemicals for energy, for building cells. This includes the things you've heard of before, like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, also vitamins and minerals. These can be eaten as well as produced by the body in some cases. Oxygen is required for chemical reactions. There's a reason why the body takes it in from the air we breathe. Water. You've probably heard a few different statistics on how much of the body is made of water. Just get that it's the majority, and it's different for everyone. It's different for men and women, children, older people, and the person sitting next to you, in front of you, behind you. You're all different by a little bit, but it does make up the majority of the body weight, and provides for metabolic reaction. Water has all sorts of important functions within the body we could spend forever on. Just know that it's one of the survival needs here. It could be a question on a test. Stable body temperature is a survival need for mammals, including ourselves. Atmospheric pressure must be appropriate. We don't think about that one, but we live in a very, very little tiny sensitive bubble in our atmosphere on this planet. And if you were to change that a little bit, your respiration or your breathing would be completely thrown off. So that's a necessary or a survival need. The next thing we have here is the term homeostasis, one of your vocabulary terms, and this is the maintenance of a stable internal environment. This is something that I've referred to several times, and that is monitoring the inside and outside environment of the body, sensing changes, and being able to make changes in response to that stimulus that the body senses, and keeping your body in a healthy range. It is necessary for survival, and if your body, just one little system in your body was out of homeostasis for very long, it could result in injury, death. So your body is constantly going through this. It's like a thermostat in your house. I believe it uses that example in here somewhere. So maintaining homeostasis works like this. I've already explained it a little bit. It works through neural and hormonal control systems, meaning your nervous system will sense changes through a receptor. It will respond to a change. This change is called a stimulus, stimuli for plural, and will send information to a control center. That would be your brain. The control center will determine what is that set point and how far are we out of that normal set point, and determine what the appropriate response will be, and send a message to an effector. You will see that term many times. The effector is the effect. It follows the decision and provides for a mean for a response or a change to that stimulus to get it back to a healthy level. Alright, so most of our homeostatic mechanisms, our feedback mechanisms as they call it here, are negative. A negative feedback loop is something that, if you see in the second point here, shuts off the original stimulus or reduces it. It tries to stop it or reverse it. And it says here that it's like a household thermostat. So you kind of have a thermostat in your own body. If your body senses that your temperature, let's say, is too high, it will do something to reverse that and bring the temperature down. That's a negative feedback loop. It stops what's going on now and changes it and brings it back to a normal level. Alright, I'm running out of time here. I'm going to have to stop and finish this in part 3. We'll pick back up with positive feedback loops.